And there came a day unlike... Wait, no, that's been done. Who knows what evil lurks in... No, that is that other thing. What has yellow skin and rights? Ah, forget it. You're listening to Panelology. Excelsi, oh damn it.
Welcome to episode 229 of Panelology. I'm Alex.
And I am Brian.
We're not asking this week, Brian. Neither of us is asking the other how it's been going. We're just going to jump straight into comics.
The best thing about my week, yes. Let's go.
Batman, number 99.
This sets up the end of the Joker War. We are now back to a post-Rick world. We have Dick Grayson back, which is very nice. I'm kind of excited for this to wrap up. I like Batman's recognition that he can't do some things by himself.
Yes, he's bringing the family back.
Yeah.
Finally.
That's kind of nice. I do have one question. Who they appear in here, but they don't make any mention of him. I don't think they're going to give us any sort of resolution or conclusion to the Clown Killer in this.
No, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Having seen some covers for upcoming issues, I think Clown Killer and another character who we haven't seen yet, but who I think gets teased in 100.
Okay.
But there are some design sketches out there for. I think both of those characters are sort of going to be ongoing figures in Tynan's run.
Yep.
The only thing that is known about the identity of Clown Killer is there is a cover for one of December's issues that is like Batman kind of hunched over, pointing his finger into Clown Killer's chest, showing that Clown Killer is like, maybe a young teen. And a lot of people immediately assumed that that was Damian Wayne. And James Tynion has said it is not Damian Wayne.
Yeah, that would have been, too much.
Yeah. So that's the one thing we know about the identity of Clown Killer. It's not Damian Wayne.
I do think it's going to be somebody we know, though.
I feel like it kind of has to be, even though I'm not exactly sure who that is at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the Robins from We Are Robin. That could make sense.
That could, yeah.
But I'm with you. I think it's got to be someone familiar.
Agreed.
One of the other things, I should say, that I want to talk about in this issue is Joker designing the tackiest car in history. Well, no, second tackiest. The General Lee is still the tackiest car.
Wow, all right. There you go. Yeah, that car didn't age well, did it?
That was the 1970s, Brian. That car didn't start well.
Was it 70? No, maybe
60s? 80s?
No, it was at least 70. Maybe it was late 70s. Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
But you're right.
No. Anyway, this is
pretty bad.
The gaudiest stretch Hummer in Joker purple with just every bell and whistle. Like, there is nothing. It's the anti-Batmobile, basically. It is all Flash.
It is the anti-Batmobile. I love it.
Which makes sense, I guess, given where we see the Joker on the last page.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Because, damn.
The highlight, and given that I'm pretty sure that I have referred to this character's appearances in this series as the highlight every time she's shown up, I bet you know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
One, getting to see her perched with the Bat family.
I know, right? That was so wonderful.
It was fantastic. But then also her drawing a line in the sand for Batman.
That conversation kind of shocked me.
I think only because, I mean, it shocked me too for a couple of reasons. One, no one really talks to him that way. Dick a little bit maybe, but Dick still has that mentor-mentee relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Harley aren't that. Like,
no.
Harley's maybe the weird aunt of the Bat family. But that's like it. She doesn't answer to him. She's not trained by him. She is happy just to say, nah, pointy ears. This is how it is.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten to a point where she respects Batman, right?
Right.
But understands that he is still human and he will make mistakes, and sometimes it's not something, she's going to disagree with him and tell him. Yeah.
I hope that after this arc, Harley is still around, because I've loved her dynamic here.
Me too. Which we talked about. God, I don't even remember what was this. Was it a early Nightwing book? Maybe, I don't remember. Where there was a one story where it was Nightwing and Harley teamed up together, right?
Oh, I think you're right. That has been a minute.
I don't know, but here's the thing. Every time it's Harley and someone from the Bat family, on the set teamed up, it's been phenomenal. Yeah, I really like it.
There's another character who's coming up in a couple issues too, who's a pre-existing character who I'm also super excited to see join the roster of this book. It's like Tynan is writing the most Alex Bat book possible. Essentially. I don't know how he keeps doing it.
Okay, can I ask about that 2-page where Batman arrives at Ace Chemicals though?
Yeah.
Holy, is that like I turned and saw that page and I just had to stop.
If DC doesn't release a full print of that page,
right,
then they don't understand selling merchandise.
It's got that super gaudy Joker stretch thing in it. It's got Ace Chemicals with green lights flashing, but then Batman arriving with that shadow of on the ground. It's just it is just stunning when you first turn the page and see it.
Yeah, it's a showstopper.
I mean, and then the next page is almost as good. And there's no words on either of those pages. It's just art. They're pinups is what they are. They're beautiful.
Yeah. While we are on the Joker War, we get a couple of pages of Catwoman and Penguin and Riddler preparing for a heist.
Yeah.
And then
Selena and her crew. Yeah.
Yeah. Then in Catwoman number 25, we get said heist.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, Rhett, I loved this book.
Wasn't this fantastic?
Okay, so here's the this first story is the story of the heist, right?
Yep.
It is intermingled with these self-comment pages of Selena and about how what she does is like a dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that insanely gorgeous sepia artwork of her and the tiger that we, previewed last time.
Yep.
I mean, I was like, holy crap, this is one of the best Catwoman stories I've read, maybe even ever. It's so good. Right? Then we get the next story, which is very, very different, but I love what it did with her character and this kind of regrounding. Right.
Well, and this is the story which I believe is going to become the basis of this ongoing.
Sure, absolutely. I don't see how you would guess anything else.
Well, I've read the solicitations for upcoming issues, so I know.
Got it. But so before we get to that real quick, so we'll go to the first story is essentially, like you said, that heist, and it is her making good on what she screwed up with giving Joker the Wayne money.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
There is a part of this story, though, that reminded me of our conversation about the upcoming John Ridley Batman miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
when we both agreed that there is a clear candidate for who would logically be Batman in it,
Right.
and we both went to Luke Fox.
Yes.
It was really hard not to go back there and think, okay, yes, this is moving in that direction,
Right.
seeing Luke and Luke's role in this story.
Yeah. And this story and Batman 99 and Batgirl. Here's the thing. Luke, the same scene with Selina and Luke have basically appeared in all three to show you specifically where it plugs in.
Yeah.
And I think there's very much a reason for that. Like, I think it doesn't matter which of these books you read, they want you to know that he is a character back involved again.
Yep.
Yeah. So the next one is called Return to Alleytown, and it is Catwoman going back to Alleytown and setting, I guess you could say, putting down her roots again.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Reconnecting.
And part of what I really like about it is it feels like a very Catwoman story, right? Like we've seen so many Catwoman stories that are iterations on here she is taking in orphans and looking out for the poorer parts of Gotham. But this is, I think, made different by her choosing to set up roots and her picking out kids to mentor and things like that.
Yeah. There are a couple of really small things that I love. One, I love how she handled the kid with the gun.
Yes.
Right? Very, very different from Batman, but like, and for him probably more effective, right?
Yeah.
The other is one of the kids, like, there's nothing ever said about it, nothing else, but like the shirt that he's wearing is just this red shirt that has like a silhouette of a cat on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, wow, that's it's beautiful, just beautiful. And so she's setting up roots, and then I didn't think I could like anything better, and then we get to this third story, which is, holy crap, is this one of the best stories? Like, it's part of the reason, like, long term I don't think so as much, but it was so unexpected. I was so not expecting this, and it hit me exactly right when I read it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a true backup that features, let's say, a character who we probably only really need the inner monologue of once.
Correct. With one possible exception, and I'll get to that at the end of this. But,
well, yes, that's a Super Pets team up.
Specific, or it doesn't even have to be a major Super Pets team up. It just has to be this character and Ace. Yeah. Which, fair. Would mimic things so well, right?
Yeah. I dug this book so much. I'm glad that you have enjoyed it too, because I know God. I've hyped this book for so long, I feel like.
Yeah.
That I am glad that it is not just me.
Let's just say we get a real Feline's perspective of Selina.
Yes.
Yeah. And let's just say, well played.
Once more with Feline.
I love it. No, it's super, super, super good. If you even have thoughts of interest in reading Catwoman, this is the book to jump on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Injustice Year Zero, number 6. Hoo boy, some things happen.
Let's just say Joker learned something he didn't know about Alan Scott's powers.
Yeah. I really expected, well,
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that exactly, no.
That was beautiful. I mean, it was horrible, but it was beautiful. Like, I can admire the execution of it.
Yeah. Not knowing how many issues of this we're getting.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how much of a direct line into Injustice Year 1, number 1 this was going to be.
Okay.
But watching the Joker take control of and attack the JSA just to ruin the Justice League's day was not a plot beat I expected.
No, but it is both very, very true to the character, and it's not just that that's what he does, it's how he does it that is like, to me, that is the best Joker.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Now, he does at one point in this flag Wildcat, and he looks at this photo and sees a look of respect in Batman's eyes, and says, "So I'm going to go after him first." What are the odds that Wildcat just kicks Joker's ass?
I would. Well, yeah. I mean, I think normally the answer is yes, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not right now, but
right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is a good book. If you like, and I know we've said that, but if you like Injustice, that you definitely owe it to yourself to read this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the Justice League, speaking of the return of Dick Grayson,
right? Yeah.
We get the team up we've all been waiting for: Dick Grayson, Hawkgirl, Detective Chimp, and Lex Luthor.
And I mean, I guess you can't call it a team up if they're fighting them, but we also have the Creepers, not the Creeper, the Creepers, and the Grundys.
Which I love, if for no other reason than it reminds me of their friendship in not Injustice, Deceased.
Yes.
Unkillables.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so the Creepers are essentially using the Grundys as mounts.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I love, and every time I see something like that, I think back to your comment about what you read from Snyder that said that, like, you won't believe some of the places we go with this, right?
Yeah.
Like all bets are kind of off. Like I love how crazy they're allowing themselves to get with this.
Like, I don't know, taking one of the space gods or whatever from No Justice and bringing it back to life as a giant bat knight.
The Omega Knight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Omega Titans, that's what they were called.
The Omega Titans, yes. Yeah, bringing one of them back as the Omega Knight. Yeah, that was wow. Yeah, and now seeing this last page, I now know and I don't know why I didn't put this together. You know, all of these Batmen are Bruce Wayne from from alternate realities that essentially have taken the powers of some other hero, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why it never occurred to me whose powers Mindhunter had taken, but they don't leave you much doubt here. They pretty much tell you straight out.
No, it's very clear.
Yeah.
That is a terrifying combination. I mean, I know the point is that they all are, but that one in particular.
That's kind of why when I saw it and like realized it, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, that is officially a bad day at the office.
Yeah, officially so, yes. Good God, I'm loving Justice League. I am loving the whole dark metal and death metal and the Perpetua stuff. Like, it's all been really, really good. It's been appropriately, I would say universe shattering, but multiverse shattering, right? It's been like everything about it's been great. I am coming to a place where I am ready to see it enter its concluding areas, though.
Yeah, we are basically at kind of on the calendar the halfway mark of it.
Right.
I am curious to see, given what you've just said, which I think is pretty true for me too. I am curious to see how the many, many, many one-shots and tie-ins that are going to play out with it through the end of the year.
Yeah.
Read, given how much we kind of have already covered with just 3 issues, plus a couple tie-ins.
Yeah. And I think more not so much even like calendar wise or actual physical, but more like story wise. I'm ready for it to start showing some signs of what this conclusion is going to be, like what the end story is going to be, right? Yeah.
I think we've probably got some like big twists and act shifts. Like if I had to guess,
yeah,
either the Flash issue next week or the third of the 3 one-shots this month will kind of be the end of Act 1, if I had to guess. Or maybe even the end of Act 2, depending on how.
And that's kind of where I'm I'm at a point that I'm hoping we're approaching the end of Act 2 is where I'm like
maybe this month is Act 2.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I'm hoping that all of these like one-shots are essentially kind of what they're treating as Act 2, and then we get back into and conclude in anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time will tell.
It will.
Stillwater #1. This is very, very, very good. I think 3 varies is the most I'm allowed to actually use before it's just bad commentary. Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez, Mike Spicer are the creative team. This is from Image. This is about a couple of shitty dude bros, which was not an energy I knew this book was going to bring, who one has lost his job for shoving another employee, and the two go get super drunk, and, well, he gets super drunk. His friend seems to be fine. And the next day, he receives a letter from a random courier, a mysterious courier who looks displaced from time, telling him that his great-grand-aunt in Stillwater has died and left everything to him. So he and his friend hop in the car and go to Stillwater, because what else does he have going on? And this place is not on any maps. Like, Google Maps can find it, but it's not on any printed maps. There's no road signage. Like, everyone who they talk to at gas stations getting there, it's like, this town doesn't exist. What are you talking about? And they get there and head into the diner to grab some lunch and find out where this attorney's office is. And the server at the diner says, well, he hasn't lived here in 15 years. And then one kid shoves another kid off the roof of a building. So the dude runs out and rushes the kid to a doctor, and the kid gets up and is fine. Totally heals up. The cut that the guy had gotten in the bar fight heals up entirely too, he realizes. And, oh, whoops, no one can die, and all your injuries magically heal. And the sheriff cannot have this getting out, and things start to go poorly for our shitty dude bros, to put it lightly. It's pretty terrifying. As someone from a smallish town, it's pretty terrifying. Just this whole outdated, nothing ever changes, outsiders are bad mentality. I am here for it.
Curse you, Alec. This was one of those that I was really on the fence about whether I was going to get it or not. So I decided I would let you get it and read it and tell me. I mean, I know I love Chip's stuff though, so I figured I'd like it, but like maybe I'll save it and read it just before I don't know, the Halloween stuff.
Well, you should at least pick up one for. I think one is actually the only one that'll be out before we record the Spooptacular.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah,
but you should pick it up and we can all talk about it together then.
Okay.
This is a tease for that. It's almost like I meant to leave it a tease and just describe what happens and not actually talk about how great it is. Almost. Iron Man #1.
Oh man, you know who my favorite character was in this book?
Patsy Walker.
I was gonna say it wasn't Iron Man. I mean, I did like Tony in this book. He was fine, but Patsy was great.
Patsy is the best. Hey, which cover did you get?
I think I've got 2. I've got like the main Alex Ross wraparound cover, and I can't remember the other one that I've got coming.
So the one I got is the R.B. Silva cover C, because there are like 3 that are.
I think that's the other one that I got.
It is Iron Man fighting an octopus.
beautiful. I think that
It's
is the other one that I got. Yeah.
a gorgeous cover. I love it. I also would not hate having a print of it.
There was only one page in this that really bothered, or one scene that really bothered me.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was the how casual and dismissive they treated Janet showing up and like them ending that.
Yeah, that was an awkward beat.
Right?
Um,
Like literally, she just flies up as tiny as Wasp and says, he's bought a new brownstone. She flies over. Nice place, thanks. I just wanted to tell you face to face that I've moved on. I think it's what's best. I agree. Take care anyway. Okay, you too, Janet. And she flies off. Like,
yeah, I really don't know if it's just a product of the way that the first half or so of this issue is structured, where each day of a week is a couple of pages.
Right.
Or if it's a little bit, well, this loose end is still open, we need to take care of it quickly.
And here's the thing. I don't even mind them kind of hand waving, right? This
it
away.
Just feels apathetic.
Well, that's my point. If they were going to hand wave it away, I would have rather have seen him just have an internal monologue of, yeah, and I talked to Janet today, and we decided it was best to end things, right?
Yeah.
And not actually seen the scene, right?
Yeah.
I would have rather that happened than this.
I feel like part of what makes it, and then maybe we should move on, because the rest of this worked really well.
Oh,
part of what makes it so strange is she stays shrunk the whole time.
Yeah.
And it really makes it read like she's just this insect flitting by.
Yeah, like I said, it just that one did not ring true or kind of right to me. But that, other than that, and that's why I said that was a single page. Other than that, I really enjoyed this book.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on here. Some of this is a little bit kind of catching folks up on maybe what they might have missed in Iron Man 2020. Tony has stepped down from Stark Unlimited, or whatever it's called, divested himself of his portfolio for the most part, and is really trying to just live what he thinks of as a quiet, normal life.
Right.
He's not great at it. And again, maybe that's a little bit of what the Janet thing is too, but I think the execution fumbles beyond just what the story is asking. In that one regard. But seeing things like he goes to buy a car and he wants these like really specific, really classic cars, and the dealer's like, if you're trying to get back to brass tacks, here's a stock model of this kind of beater from the 80s. If you want to fix it up, I bet you know how, but do it yourself.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to him stuck in traffic and already like kind of over it.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. One, this has my quote of the week.
Brian's quote of the week.
So he's throwing this party for like all of these people that are his friends, and there are definitely air quotes around that. Which are essentially, all of these other tech people, right? Patsy shows up. That's where she comes into this. And he says something early on about, oh, I've got something I want to show you today. And so there's some interruption, whatever. And anyway, she goes, anyway, there's something you wanted to show me? So they start walking like downstairs. And she goes, by the way, don't do anything gross or I'll kick your ass. I believe you, but I think you'll like this. And so they walk down and she sees the car that he bought that you just talked about. She's like, oh, so you're going through some midlife crisis, a man quest. No, not the car, something else. And he opens up the suitcase and there's an Iron Man suit in it. And she's like, her board, oh my God, it's really true. You're Iron Man. Very funny.
At one point, he even asks her, were you always this funny?
Yeah, yes. So, and the what he wanted to show her specifically is it's like a very much a throwback vintage looking Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She even makes the comment, are you kidding? I love vintage clothing. Yeah. So the two of them go out on patrol as Hellcat and Iron Man, right? And I think probably the most telling single thing in this book, though, is when he's
The
trying to
unicorn
tell
shows
her.
up? Oh.
Well, no, literally right before that, when he's trying to tell her, I really feel like I need to get back to my roots. I want to put more iron back in Iron Man. Like I'm trying to, I don't know who I am, and I'm trying to figure it out, and this, that, and the other. And she says something about like, do it dramatically. Say, "Who am I?" And he's like, "God, you're harsh." She's like, "Well, maybe you need to be no one at all." And he's like, "Out." And she goes, "Tony, with love, this new humility you've got going on, it's just your ego in different clothes. Still,
She's so
it's
good.
still your ego in different clothes." Yeah, it's like, oh, that may be the most telling thing about this run. That or insightful thing is he's doing all these things, but is it they kind of don't feel genuine.
Yeah.
Right.
I also like that this does, and we kind of talked about this before, but to sort of tie it all together, this does feel like a logical next step after Empire and after Iron Man 2020.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. It does feel like it feels very much like what Tony would do in response to all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also absolutely have to talk about the art in this book, which is by Kafu with colors by Frank Darmada.
Mm-hmm.
This is a gorgeous book. I mean, while we are still on the topic of Patsy, who is my favorite thing about this, just the design of her showing up in this yellow and blue dress. She is immediately recognizable, despite there having been like no mention of her in this book prior to her showing up.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I know who this is.
Yeah, like
I was not expecting to see her here, but yes, no, perfect.
It is so well designed and well colored, and
yes. And I love the different palette choices, right? Like at the party, it's very bright in the background. Like literally, you're constantly seeing lights and everything in the background is washed out, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And then, like when they're on patrol and when they go down to his basement, it's all darks and blues and
when he's street racing, it's inky and
other
than like there's no natural light. Everything is washed out headlights or shadow.
Yep. I really enjoyed how they used lighting in this. Very much so.
Thor number 7, real quick. We are on kind of a short 2-issue arc between everything we had with the Black Winter and what comes next. And this seems to be very specifically dealing with the idea that has been teased throughout Cates' run so far, that Mjolnir has been getting heavier and heavier for Thor. And we learn what the corollary to that is, because there is another side to that coin. When the hammer drops down into Broxton with Tony Stark's phone number on it.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but please tell me that's some kind of metaphor for something.
No, it literally says call Tony Stark and then has a real phone number that you can call to get Tony Stark in the real world on it.
What does that number actually go to, Alec?
I mean, do I need to dial it right here on the call?
Do it on the air, sure. I mean, I could have at least hoped it would say for a good time call Tony Stark and give the number. That would have been.
All right, let's dial a Tony.
Dial a Tony. Now wait, this isn't Fat Tony in the house, is it?
I don't get your reference.
That was one of the responses
right.
on the text chain on the Reddit chain in the Read It chain in Iron Man. So what does Tony say?
Hi. Yes, this is Iron Man. However, due to some big blonde jerk, I no longer use this number. But hey, nice try anyway. For all things Tony Stark, please visit www.tonystarkironman.com and try and stay safe out there, yeah? I'm busy enough as it is.
God, whose voice was that?
I don't know. It sounds familiar though, right?
It almost sounds like God, dang it, Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt?
Yeah, it almost sounded. I think it was a little off from that, but that's who it reminded me of the most. I think. Anyway, whatever,
Weirdly,
it doesn't matter.
I went to Happy Hogan.
Oh well, okay.
Can you imagine if Tony made Happy Hogan record his voice messages for him?
Oh, love it! Wow, that was kind of fun.
Yep, cool. The other thing that happens in this book, other than just some great Thor and Sif banter using Hugin and Mugen as shortwave radios, Thor invites Beta Ray Bill, who he just absolutely destroyed and whose hammer he literally shattered a couple of issues ago, up to Asgard and asks him to become his second in command.
Oh?
Yep. Thor is afraid something is coming. Thor had a vision revealed to him by the Black Winter and does not trust himself to not have someone there to have his back and to take over should he be incapacitated.
Got it.
And all I'll say to that is, I bet that this eventually ends up tying into Kieran Gillen's Eternals run. X-Men.
The Xboxes. The Xboxes.
Starting with Hellions number 4.
Or Havoc has a bad day.
Shot through the heart and you're to blame. You give love a bad name.
Oh my god, we get canon confirmation that the mutants are horrible, awful creatures when it comes to this one person, huh?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, this has to come back and bite everyone, right?
Like, honest to God, and as much as I love all of these, all of the mutants, and I hope so. Like, this is the worst decision they've made.
Yeah,
by far.
All prior decisions are nothing next to this one. They made a line in the sand and then crossed it. Made a line.
Yeah, I
See
got
what
it.
I did there?
I picked up on it. It's not as good as the prior thing, but I love it. Oh my god. Wow. I think I said the same thing last issue, but I really feel for her. She's done a lot. Don't get me wrong, she's done a lot of awful things, but the whole idea of being heroes is that it doesn't matter how awful the other people have been. You don't treat people that way.
Yeah, and I don't know her whole history.
Yeah.
But at the point where you have a character questioning their reality, or at least having to assert their personhood,
yeah,
you have as a society, as a group of people, fucked up real bad.
Yeah, and that's my point. And they keep making that. Here's the thing: I get it's a hard thing to deal with, but essentially they just keep making the decision to not deal with it.
Yeah,
which is I would not have blamed Havoc had he lost it again at the end there and lit stuff up.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly. Uglier.
Uglier, yeah, man.
How about giant size X-Men Storm number 1? We tie together a few threads here, huh?
We do. I mentioned what I wanted from this last week, and they gave me everything I wanted in it. It was
almost like they planned it.
It's almost like they planned it. Yeah. So Cypher was great in this.
I am always here for host friend Cypher.
I know, it's beautiful. Here's the
give me all that Warlock content.
Oh yeah, you know who else I liked in this?
Storm.
I did, but I liked Ned.
Oh, Ned was very good.
Ned is a new named / anonymous still, because we have no idea what he looks like. hive scientist, or I'm sorry, AIM scientist.
No, not the bee thieves
That was
evil organization.
right. I know
the science bros who wear beekeeper costumes.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was. That was the path of thought that took me to say that. But yes,
I got you.
he is an AIM scientist who was going to betray them, but like, oh my god, the world is so cool that you know what? You don't even have to pay me. I'm just going to stay here. He's wonderful. Like he's so refreshingly honest about who he is and what he wants. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we journey into the world to separate the techno-organic virus from Storm.
Yep.
Her organic parts are fine, but then they have this technical entity that was also exposed to time energies, like Storm had been.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely 100% sentient.
Yeah, like you knew even before they got to that part in the story what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like she comes out of it, and cleverly enough, it's Ned, right, who says, "Oh yeah, I was expecting this," and instantly contains this entity, right?
I mean, real talk. I expected it to be a Nimrod.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. There's, and I wish I had it more fresh in my mind. There is some of the white pages that Hickman did about the whole Technarch and what constitutes this level of technology.
Yep.
And the one I'm talking about?
Powers of 10, number 3, I think it was.
Right, yeah, I know it was in the Powers of 10 stuff, where they talk about, what the technarchy is and, what constitutes this thing where, I totally expected it to be a plug-in to that somehow, right?
Yeah, well, I think I went Nimrod because we saw Nimrod in Powers of 10. Too.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, well, and Nimrod is kind of a side response to that. So in a way, he kind of fits into that structure. Like he fits into it as a opposition to it, kind of. So yeah. But yeah, I like as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this thing's coming back. And then they actually move on to tell us. Cypher has a conversation with it and like tells us, yeah, I know you're sentient, and yeah, guess I'll be seeing you too. So that's not going to end.
I also love the little bit at the end where Doug is just joking about how great he is at field work.
I know. He's so good. I love Monet's comment. One of the things in the world like attacks him, and Warlock is there and protects him or whatever. But she like comes in slashing and says essentially, "That's what you get when you attack Bambi." The mutant Bambi. That's it.
Yep.
I love it.
Then we have Excalibur.
Yeah.
So I will say this one thing. It is very, 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 very important that you read Excalibur 12 before X-Men 12.
That I would 100% believe.
Things have been a little fuzzier of late in terms of read order.
Right.
And how specifically things line up. Excalibur 12 goes directly into X-Men 12.
I was excited for this particular issue of this book for two reasons. One is I feel like I finally understand what the hell Two Dot's trying to do.
Same. Actually,
right?
Here's the funny thing. You don't yet. You will when you read X-Men number 12.
Okay. Like, but like, and maybe like don't fully understand, but like,
you
it's
get
like
what he's trying to do. You don't get why.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But like, he has been like this whole time. It's like we know he's up to something, and like he's really like making overt moves to do something. But like, it's been kind of confusing as to like how the hell they could have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
We get it here.
Turns out,
yeah,
he is the gatekeeper, and Richter is the
Richter
keymaster.
is the keymaster. Yes, there you go. Yeah, I liked. The other thing that I really liked about this was how how Kandra was
Uh-huh.
was played off in this.
Her Force Ghost?
Her Force Ghost, yes. And the fact that only Remy can see her.
Yeah.
Yes. And clearly she's still thirsty for him too.
Oh, it was
which made
it was almost gross.
It was. And the hilarious thing is, like, she's having these conversations with him while he's right there with Rogue. It's
Yeah.
like, she is so awful that
she is very into his not telling Rogue that her Force Ghost is there.
Yes. Oh, it's good stuff to read. I'll say that. I'll put it that way.
We also return to the dangling thread of the alternate universe Excalibur members as various Captains Britain.
Yes, we do get that as well. And this is all definitely going to tie together. So it turns out, and like, this isn't really spoilers in my opinion. I mean, I guess if you want to be technical about what a spoiler is, it is. But like, it's not like a big major plot thing, right? Is we know basically since Excalibur started, part of like what they've been trying to investigate is the gates, the Krakoan gates to Otherworld, and why like it wasn't working, and when they tried to reestablish one, it basically that Otherworld kept destroying or blocking, or essentially they could not establish a gate to Otherworld.
Yeah.
Turns out what from this issue, what we get from Two Dots trying to do is essentially he's trying to create a gate that can't be blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a permanent gate that is, level 2. It's a gate 2.0 that can't be blocked.
Yes.
Yes. And he gets it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that sets us up for X-Men number 12. And all I'm going to say about it this week, we may double back to it next week with Ten of Swords creation.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm going to say about it this week is we learn why Apocalypse wants that gate, and we directly set up Ten of Swords.
All right. Yeah, I'm so ready. Like everything's primed at this point. Let's do it.
Yep. And last book for this week, Heavy number 1. This is a Vault book by Max Bemis. We talked a good deal about his Moon Knight run a while back.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Art is by Eric Donovan, with colors by Chris Peter. This book, I think, has generally been pitched as Punisher but with magic. And I think that short description does this book a disservice.
Okay.
It's not wrong. It is about a dude who is very good at killing bad people and does so as a direct result of his family's being gunned down by mobsters. But he was gunned down with them and is undead. Well, is basically in purgatory. And it's his job to go across a multiverse killing off bad people to prevent the creation of dark timelines. So, for instance, this issue sees him taking down a very, very, very horny Leonardo da Vinci, who has has positioned himself as ruler of the world and is just this sadistic, hedonistic asshole.
Okay.
And by killing him, a very sort of Doctor Who, the timeline will fix itself. Timeline shift happens, and the world is no longer a dark timeline. His whole goal, obviously, is to eventually, earn enough points or whatever to rejoin his wife in the afterlife. The title, he's one of many who does this job. They're called Heavies, hence Heavy.
Got it.
The other Heavies all partner off and work in pairs, like the Men in Black. He has refused to partner off, but his point total won't get high enough if he continues to work singles. So he accepts a partner, and the partner turns out to be the mob boss who prior to getting with this guy,
Oh, shit.
his wife had turned down, which is why the mob wiped out his family.
So had they forced Frank Castle to team up with, the mob that killed the great.
And if he were also like some kind of
Yeah.
avenging angel.
Yeah. Wow.
It's very good and darkly funny. I did not expect it to be funny.
Sure.
Strongly recommend it. Okay. Is it still good? Very quickly. Billionaire Island. Yes, it is still good. The billionaires actually get theirs. I wish we were so lucky. Once and Future number 11. Hey, Brian, do you remember Beowulf?
Like the actual story Beowulf?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happens after you get rid of the Grendel? Neither do they.
Yeah. Oh.
7 Secrets number 2. We talked about number 1. I think maybe had you gotten a chance to read it when we talked about it? Do you remember?
I don't think I think I had started. I think I was reading it kind of like while we were
That's
recording.
right.
Yeah.
So, having read number 2 now, I get the impression that issues 1 and 2 are basically this book's prologue.
Okay. That makes sense now if you explain that. Yeah. Because I did end up finish reading number 1. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think from here forward the pace will be more present day. I think number 2 does a great job of building on the world building from 1. But I definitely think those two taken together are prologue. Detective Comics number 1027. Maybe we'll revisit this one once Brian's had a chance to read it. This is a big anniversary issue with like 9, 11, something like that, different stories in it. They're all really solid.
Good.
If I had to pick a favorite, shocking no one, it's probably the Fractions Darsky one about the Joker leaving Batman a birthday present every month. Conan, Battle for the Serpent Crown, number 5. Mephisto tries to make a deal with Conan. The Immortal Hulk put out 2 issues this week. Number 0 reprints the history of the Hulk and his father and his parents' deaths with some framing material that gives us his father's relationship to what seems to be the series' big bad. While number 37, and definitely read 0 before 37.
Okay.
Number 37 shows us the next phase of the big bad's plan. This week's books to read there. This week's books to read. Hell yeah.
Woohoo. Yeah, let's do it. What you got?
Ten of Swords creation, number 1.
Like,
duh.
Yeah, we're not going to say anything else about it. Read. Good God, read it.
Suicide Squad, number 9.
Oh, I've been building up to it. This is the one. This is the one where we lose Deadshot.
Dark Knights, Death Metal, Speed Force, number 1. So this basically serves not only as the next chapter in Death Metal, dealing with the Flashes being chased by the Batman Who Laughs, but also basically serves as the capstone to Josh Williamson's Flash run. The final issue of it is out next week. Read that, then read Speed Force. So this one kind of double dips on my list.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it's not Speed Force. It's Speed Metal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes. You got to go with the metal music theme, right? Yeah.
Dark Knights, Death Metal, Speed Metal.
Yes.
Cool. I did show notes very quickly today.
Yeah, all good.
All right. The Immortal She-Hulk, number 1.
Oh, man. After, essentially, this is billed as what's going to happen after the events of Empire for Jennifer Walters. Yeah. About how, it's going to set up whatever is next for her. Kind of cleansing, kind of a palate cleansing type thing. And I really, the fact that they're calling it Immortal She-Hulk, it kind of excites me a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very directly going to answer the how did she come back to life?
Right.
Question.
Yes.
Which, if you're reading Immortal Hulk, you kinda get what that answer is gonna be, but
Right. Yeah.
she so far has not been pulled into all that.
Correct.
Incidentally, Brian, I know you have had a hectic week. Did you see the casting news?
Nope.
They have cast She-Hulk Jennifer Walters for the Disney Plus show.
Who is it?
Tatiana Maslany.
Oh my god. Oh, that makes me incredibly happy.
Giving Brian good news on the show is one of my favorite things I get to do.
Oh, like, so I have no idea if I've ever shared this on the show or not. Tatiana Maslany is like one of my favorite. Like, I think that she has so much talent. Like, good God, that's super exciting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a quick aside, I have also realized who I need to be Namor. I had seen on Twitter and was in my head trying to resolve both the idea of Rahul Kohli as Reed Richards and the idea of William Jackson Harper, Chidi from The Good Place,
Yep.
as Reed Richards. And I realized, no. Rahul Kohli is Reed Richards, but Chidi is surprisingly ripped.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a part there's an episode in The Good Place where his shirt comes off and everybody's like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's a running joke that he is surprisingly ripped.
Yes, yeah.
William Jackson Harper needs to be Namor.
That's funny.
I sent this to Jen and to Meg this week to get their feedback, and yes, they are both on board. I will share the same pictures with you, but like, it's uncanny. He is built like Namor.
I am looking at my text stream from Alex now, eagerly awaiting. That definitely looks like Namor. I'm yeah. Okay.
Well, that's because that's the Namor reference.
I understand. I'm the
For listeners at home,
yes,
who are not the NSA.
Oh my God! Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I did not expect it to be so eerily the same muscle base. When I started this as a goof.
That is kind of frighteningly similar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just not quite as much of a widow's peak as Namor.
No.
And he's wearing more pants, but other than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last next week book is The Autumnal, which is a new horror book from Vault.
Yep.
Duh.
Exciting. Great. I love it.
All right. Anything else before we wrap it up, Brian?
I'll just mention, holy cow, I found a new show that for somehow I had missed. And if you enjoy animation, Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts is fantastic. Holy cow, is it good.
I've only seen the first couple of episodes, but it is so far amazing.
It's great.
Soundtrack, score are excellent.
Like everything about this book is good. I can't wait for you to get further through it so we can talk about it then.
Have you watched The Owl House?
Nope, I have not.
The Owl House is excellent. Infinity Train, also excellent and really quick to get through. Each season's like 10-minute long episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Owl House and Infinity Train, huh?
Yep.
All right. I will, as a matter of fact, I'll add those to my list of watchy things now.
Wendy Malick is one of the main characters on Owl House.
Oh, wonderful. Perfect.
And with that, we would like to thank Chase Parker for our intro voiceover. You can visit us at panelologypodcast.com, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/panelology, get Panelology merch at bit.ly/panelologymerch, capital P, capital M, or write into us at bit.ly/panelologymailbag, again, capital P, capital M. I'm Alex.
And I am Brian. Go read comics.